Okay, good morning. Welcome to my humble little room where I write songs, and today I'm going to go through my process of songwriting that I've developed over a wee while, listening to other people, talking to other songwriters, trying to find a way to make the process quicker. So I'm going to write a brand new song here today, and let's get started. So I'm going to jump over here, and I'm going to show you my process right from the very start. And I just, you can see here on my Word document, and I will usually just start, and I will do something like this. Song idea. I'm not the best speller in the world. I don't need to be. So I'll write down song idea. I do have a couple of little things that came to my mind. I was defrosting the freezer the other night, and all the water was dripping out of it, and I got the thought of 1,000. I'll just write it down. 1,000 raindrops. Okay. That's just an idea. I'll usually start with a title. It could be anything. That's just an idea I have. I might not never use it, but I have it. And forgive me, I'm suffering a bit today. I spent yesterday. We had a torrential rainstorm yesterday in Northern Ireland. We don't get them very often, but it was pretty rough. I actually blew my ladder sideways off the side of a building, and I got soaked to the skin. So by the time I got home, I'm suffering a bit, so bear with me. So anyway, we've got Bob here. We've got little Bob Ross. He's here to help us, as he has inspired millions across the world. Anyway, so you can write about anything, and coming up with the idea sometimes is the most difficult part. So I'm looking for an idea. I remember my son came in here one day, and I said, "Son, you can write about anything. You can come up with an idea about anything. You know, I've got one there. I've got Bob Ross. I could probably write something about him. I've seen enough of his programs and watched his documentary. I'm thinking, what else? I've got the picture of my children up on the wall. I've got cans up here, a teddy bear. Plenty of songs been written about teddy bears. I wonder, is that where they came from? I don't know. I have a banjo. I have a couple of electric guitars. I have an old dartboard. A dartboard. What about this? God's bullseye. I don't know if that's how you spell that. Is it brilliant? God's bullseye. What about that for an idea? I don't like the colour of this room. We painted it. It used to be in a bigger room. We moved out, gave that room to one of my sons, and this room got painted in a hurry, so it's kind of grey. What about a line like this? When all your rooms are grey. That's just a line. I'm just searching for ideas. That's all I'm doing. I'm going to pause and I'll think of a few more. So I'm just looking outside the door, outside the window here. I was going to say it's a beautiful day, and it looks as if the sun's shining, but the sky is grey, and all your rooms are grey. All your rooms are grey, and the sky is the same. What could you do? So let's take this one, and all your rooms are grey, and the sky is the same. I'll leave these up here because, you know, they're ideas. This is just an idea. I like writing songs with rhyme, and I just like rhyme, you know. But so what will I do? I'll do all your rooms rooms are grey and the skies are the same, what would you do? What advice would you give to someone whose rooms are grey and the sky's the same? I don't know why I painted them rooms, the walls grey, because like it's grey enough over here, and all your rooms are grey and the sky is the same. There's only one thing to do. This is all idea at the minute, so there's only one thing to do, and that's go walking in the rain. What do you do when you walk? See, I'm trying to tell a story, so now I'm going for a walk. I'll go for a walk in the rain, and all your rooms are grey and the sky is the same. There's only one thing to do. Go walking in the rain. Or what I'll do here, and I'll put in a bracket, an alternative, walk with God in the rain. Okay, it's an alternative. Just a thought. Your rooms are grey and the sky is the same. There's only one thing to do. Go walking in the rain. Walk with God in the rain. Anyway, we'll move on. I don't want to get caught up in perfecting words. This is what I do. Try and get a verse done. I'll find a chorus, get a verse done, maybe a bridge, get it done as quick as possible. And don't worry about whether it's all right and whether it all rhymes or whether it all fits, because you're going to go back and we're going to fix a lot of this stuff. And we're going to see if we can make a good song out of it. It might not make a good song, but within 10-15 minutes here, we're going to know. So when all the rooms are grey and the sky is the same, there's only one thing to do. You walk with God in the rain. You can share with him your secrets. What about this? You can tell him of your pain. Oh, I'm there. You can, I say, there's only one thing to do. Go walking in the rain. What's going on here? You can share with him your secrets. Let's just jump in the wrong place. Come on. Even though heavens fail. I'm just thinking here because I'm thinking, right, I might walk and talk to God. Is he really hearing me? I remember reading a book years ago called When the Heavens Are Brass. So you can tell me your pain even though the heavens feel like brass. You can find God in the rain. It's not bad. Okay, so it's not God's bullseye. This is a different bit. These are ideas. So this is what I'm doing, and I'm just going through this. So it's kind of like poetry to me. Not everybody writes like this, and that's fair. When all your rooms are grey and the sky is the same, there's only one thing to do. Go walking in the rain, or walk with God in the rain. You can share with him your secrets, you can tell him of your pain, even when the heavens feel like brass, even when, so I'll change that to when. Even when heavens feel like brass or feel they're closed, and the idea of not being able to get through your feeling that God's not listening. So I'll put in the word closed, maybe shut up, no way through. You see, I'm building ideas, and maybe some of it will be used, maybe some of it won't. Okay, so we've done a first verse. Let's put in there verse 1. Verse 1. Alright. And I'm going to save this. Just save it as, I don't know. Let's see. Let's call it walking in the rain. Just for now. Just so I don't lose it. Right, there we go. What's that there? Where's that? I don't like having spelling mistakes. Right, there you go. When all your rooms are grey and the sky is the same, there's only one thing to do. Well, let's go out in the rain. Might change that. I don't know. You can share with him your secrets. You can tell him of your pain. Even when the heavens feel like brass, you can find him. You can find God. In the rain. I've already said rain, so like I'm going to work on this verse. I haven't got any idea what I'm doing here. This is a brand new song. I'm trying to put it together here, and this is my process. So within, or I don't know how long's it been going? 12 minutes. We have written a first verse. That's quite slow. You could write them faster, but I'm starting with the whole idea and everything. So you can find God in the rain. So what is a message? I'll put here, what is the message? Okay. What is the message? What is your message? What are you trying to tell people? What do you want to make? What do you want to make them feel? What do you want them to feel? The hook and stuff, I'll worry about that later. I have no music, I haven't thought of anything. Just this. So what is the message? So I'm going to pause, and I'm going to make a cup of coffee. I'm going to have a piece of banana bread, and this that's okay. You don't have to finish it in one sitting, but while I'm away, I will be sitting, and I will be thinking about what it is that I'm going to do. I often do go for a walk in the rain, or I used to do a lot more, and I would just go for a walk. That's where I would talk to the Lord and find him mostly. And I'm trying to think of the way it made me feel at times, walking with him, you know. And even now I'm thinking, how did it make me feel? Walking with God will take away your pain. But I've already said that in the verse, but I can't change the verse. Walking with God will take away, will help you rise again. Maybe somebody's down. Walking with God will help you rise again. Walking, I like to repeat the first line if I can. With God. With God with a lower G. With God blah 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 blah. In the bada 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 bum bada 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 bum. It's not tongues. It's just how I do it, and that's my process. So, so I've got like walking with God will help you rise again. I don't know about that line. It may or may not stay. Walking with God. I don't know. That's what I want to call it. Walking with God. You know, when all your rooms are grey and all the sky is the same. There's only one thing to do, or I could change that to there's only. See, this is where you get the wee idea. There's only one place to go. I could do maybe, and go walk with God in the rain. See, you've got two options. You can share with him your secrets. You can tell him of your pain. Even when the heavens feel like brass, you can find God. You will find him. You can find God. You will find God or him. I'm not sure. It's kind of, I've got a balance between the message, what it says, and I've got the balance between what works in a song. And sometimes you've got to change words, and even though you want to mention God, if it doesn't fit the song, well then you've got to change it. And it still references him, God, but maybe just doesn't say him, his name exactly. So that's okay. We can do that. So anyway, my son's girlfriend made him. My son's girlfriend made him some banana bread. So it's not for me, of course, it's for him. But it's a big loaf. So I'm going to pause this. I'm going to get myself a nice cup of tea and a piece of banana bread before he wakes up and hides it. And then I'll come back and I'll have another rethink about this, and we'll go through maybe how do we work out a chorus and how do we build a chorus. We've kind of built a verse already, and there's the making of a very good song there, and it all came from that one idea when I was defrosting the freezer the other night. We made a bunch of apple crumbles, so I had to find space in the freezer, so I had to get it defrosted, cleaned out, cleared out, and all that stuff, and the water was all dripping down like rain. And just the thought came to my head, 1,000 drops of rain. So I want to try and get that into this song somewhere. If I don't, I'll use it for another song. But just to show you, you can use anything. I've used the grey walls in this room to give me the inspiration for a song. So the grey walls, you can see them behind me, over here as well. This one's green. It looks like, I don't know what we were thinking when I done that. It's like cow manure. But anyway, I'm going to stop this and pause this, and I'm going to get my banana bread. Right. Got my banana bread. Got my tea. And, we're big tea drinkers over here, so we've got to try the banana bread, eh? Got to try it. Try it on camera. See what it's like. Nice and stodgy looking there. I'm sure you can hear it slapping. Nice. Okay. I apologize for the slurping and slapping. This is my process. So let's say where we're at. And while I was up in the kitchen, I was talking to my son, and he is involved in a ministry, and so they have a thing on tonight called The Forge, and I thought, ooh. Now, he said it to me a million times, but I was never in the frame of thinking. I thought, what a great title for a song. So I put it down up here. You gotta listen. You gotta really listen. I wrote a song called Your Grace for Me. Somebody just said something. I'm amazed at God's grace. I wrote a whole song on it. So always listening as a songwriter. Let me close this other laptop down because it's making a lot of noise. I'm on my wife's laptop today. My old Mac. I don't know. There's another song. You know, these are the things. You put them in there, like my old Mac. They're all ideas. They're all things you could write about. But let's go back to this one. I'm trying to remind myself of where I'm at when your rooms are grey, and I'm trying to think about the emotion of this song. The sky is the same. There's only one thing to do. Not sure I like that. It's a bit cheesy, but we'll see. So in the rain. I'm gonna need this chorus to really bounce, really stick out. What about walking with God? Instead of walking with God, He will meet you. No. Oh, I don't know. Let's put it. God will meet you. Would it be halfway? Does He meet you halfway? Does He come to your aid? And this is all the theological thoughts now going around in my head. Theologically, is it correct? Don't think about those things, because those things will bog you down and stop you from writing. So let's move on. Walking with God will help you rise again. Walking with God will see, I've repeated that first line. La 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 la. In the it doesn't always have to be about pain and heartache, just right. In the heartache you will, well, in the pain and in the heartache you will find just telling me there. And your prayers will become. Amongst 1,000 drops of rain. I don't know if that's a positive thing, but anyway, I'm just writing. This is what I do, you just write. So that's chorus. See, it's over. Chorus. There's a hairdryer. That's chorus. Let's go down and try to do a verse 2. So I'm trying to think of a story. So this is someone who's been sitting at home. You've got to think of a whole story. This is someone that's been sitting at home, maybe looking at the four walls. Excuse me, feeling like maybe feeling like God's forgotten them, or or time has passed them by. I can't speak from experience maybe here, but that kind of a story line. And when you get a bit older, God's not finished with you. Just because you can't run 100 meters in 12 or 13 seconds, or whatever you could do, doesn't mean God's finished with you. God doesn't need you to be able to run a 5-minute mile, or a 3-minute mile, or a 4-minute, whatever it is. He doesn't need that. He just needs you to be willing to give him what he wants, what he needs, and just willing to just lay it down. And I'm thinking about this person here who's got to this place of pain, maybe went walking in the rain trying to find God, maybe finding him in the rain, and all of a sudden the sky opens up to a brighter day, to a nicer time. So I've already got the story in my head. How do I put it into a song? So we've got the time of trouble, time of pain. Now we need a resolution. The resolution would be the chorus. The answer is the chorus. Verse 2 is maybe when you start to see somebody put up today on the community a couple of pictures of rainbows. When you start to see the sign of God's promise, when you start to see his promise written in the sky, something like the colours of the rainbow, colours, couleurs, the colours of the rainbow. I don't know. I just go and make the colours of the rainbow the way they are. That's a good question. And all of a sudden you start getting trapped into this place of trying to think too hard. When you're writing, don't think too hard. Don't try and think too hard. Don't try and be clever. Get the song done, get it down, and move on, and then go back and fix the bits and make it great. So let's carry on now. I'm doing what I should be doing. When you start to see his promise written in the sky, the colours of his majesty are, and I don't know, so I'll do this, or blah 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 blah. You can't catch the rainbow, but you can't catch the rainbow, you can catch the stuff, but if you reach out your hand, you'll catch him. Or sorry. I apologize. Sometimes I think about what the Lord does, and what He's done. It blows my mind. Let's see. If you reach out your hand, you'll catch Him, for He is willing to be caught. No, I want to say that He is more willing. He is more willing than we are. When you start to see His promise written in the sky, the colours of His majesty are maybe something like always standing, nigh. Not a word people use, nigh means near. We can change it. If you reach out your hand, excuse me, you'll catch Him, for He is willing to be caught. Why does He want you to catch Him? Why does He want you to find Him? When you find His holy presence, you find His holy presence, it's going to have to be something it's not right around you. Well, and you have that's not it, but that's the sentiment. I'm going to have to fix that. And we're going to chorus. We'll do a chorus again. I'll just put chorus, maybe a bridge. Right. Let's see. I might just bring that up there. So it means I'm forcing myself to write a bridge. And then after that, again, of course, we would do chorus. See how long a song is. Typical thing, and that's a good thing. If you want to do that, you can write your structure, say verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. Put them down as your titles, and that will force you. So if I go here, structure, and in there, verse 1. You could do this at the start. Verse 1, chorus, verse 2. Maybe a bridge straight after verse 2. Maybe a chorus. We'll see. It's a song in the planning. All right. So we've got this is actually verse 2 here. Oh, all of a sudden we've got the makings of a verse 2. All right. If I could put them. Oh, I don't. Control A and selects all. I'll put them all on one page. There we go. Makes it easier to see. We'll do this. So we're on the way to the making of a good song. I'm just going to have some more banana bread. Give me 2 minutes. And I'll be back. Okay. Banana bread. Well and truly gone, see? So anyway, it's okay to have a bit of a laugh, you know. Songwriting should be about fun, and I do get the emotion, and I do get quite involved. Sometimes I'll write stuff and I'll sit and laugh at it, or sometimes I'll just sit and I'll cry, you know, because don't tell my family because they think I'm tough, but I'm not really. And you know, sometimes I'll just sit there and I'll cry because I think about what the Lord has done. And anyway, it's not a bad thing to be emotional about the stuff you're writing, but you gotta at some point take the emotion out of it and turn it into a good song, because although it's emotionally maybe affecting you, you've got to ask yourself the question, is that going to translate to somebody else? And just because a one-liner caught my attention there, which it did, about God catching us, waiting to be caught. You know, it's like when we used to do hide and seek, you know, with my kids when they were young. And I think they wanted to be caught, because we used to do this thing called the washing machine. And when I caught them, I would put them through the washing machine. Like, it was only a pretend thing, you know. I'd lie on my back and hold them up in the air and sort of toss them around and tickle them and do all that sort of stuff. And they would, you know, a bit of fun. So most of the time I think they wanted to be caught. And I think sometimes it's like playing a game of hide and seek with the Lord, but he wants to be caught. He's trying to be caught. He's not hiding. We're the ones that hide. Anyway, let's move on with our little song and see where we're at. We shall go to this little camera here. It's not as good a quality, but that's fine. I don't care. I don't like these wee blue lines and all that stuff that keeps coming up, you know. No reason. There's no need for it. Just stop it. I put that in and you're putting me off. Anyway, the verse, chorus, verse, a bridge. Excuse me, do I want a bridge in this song? It doesn't really matter whether I want a bridge in it or not. Write a bridge. And you can easily take it out. But if you get there and you're starting to do recording, or you're starting to put it down, or you use AI, or whatever way you do it, if you don't have that bridge written, you're going to spend the next 2 or 3 hours trying to think of something. You better come into the recording section with all the stuff done and having more than what you need. So a bridge. What is a bridge? Well, it's a thing you get over, isn't it? As they say here in Ireland, build a bridge, build yourself a bridge and get over it. If somebody's offended you, build a bridge and get over it. Alright, so anyway, if we go to the bridge, let's see if you can, I'm assuming you can still see that, can you? Yes, there's my little mouse. If we go down to a bridge, what's a bridge? It's something to get you from one point to the next, over a place that is impassable ordinarily. So I've done a verse, I've done a chorus, I've done a verse, I might do a chorus again. Now I want to get to a place where the chorus has more meaning than what it actually has in the first place. It's like, yes, really drive it home, but it's on the other side of the bank, on the other side of that river is the finish point, and I've got to get over there. Now, you don't always need a bridge because you don't always have a river to cross. Sometimes you can just jump across some stepping stones, and a bridge can be 1 or 2 wee phrases. You just jump across, it's wee stepping stones, or a zip line. I don't know how that would look like in music, a zip line. But a bridge, we'll do a bridge. I think some people may call it a tag. It's a wee short sort of a bridge thing. But if we go to bridge, so I wrote a song, somebody who's sitting in the house, blah blah blah. Get out there, talk to God. a chorus which I'm anywhere near finished or anywhere near a product yet. Verse 2. What happens when you're out in the rain? Yeah, somebody sent through a couple of pictures today on the KLM, the school community hub, whatever that's called, the school Christian music mentor, hub. A couple of pictures of a rainbow that they had captured. I haven't seen one for the last couple of days, and it has bucketed down here in Belfast in Northern Ireland. But anyway, it's neither here. They sent the pictures through the rainbow, so I don't know why. I just thought, when you're out there in the rain, what do you see? So I wrote verse 2. People try to catch the end of a rainbow because they think there's a pot of gold there. There's not. There's not. And there's no leprechauns either. So anyway, we're looking for a bridge to go from maybe the end of verse 2 to a big chorus, or maybe from a chorus that's subdued a bit more to a big chorus, to an end, to a crescendo. So I need a bridge to get over, something to get over. And I find this the hard part, the bridge, and it can be difficult because it can sound so daft and so cheesy. But when you start to see his promise written in the sky, you know the colours of his majesty are blah blah blah, standing nigh. And maybe if you reach your hand and catch him, for he's willing to be caught. As an idea, it's not the finish. When you find his holy presence, you will find you have a lot. Totally cheesy and rubbish, but to me, anyway. But we'll fix that, so you'll find his holy presence. You'll find a lot. What about something like, and in the stillness when you're silent, you may hear his still small voice. And you will know. What am I doing right now? Let me try to explain it. I'm in my head imagining that I'm out walking, talking to the Lord, and it's raining, and the rain has just stopped, and there's a rainbow in the sky, and I'm standing in awe at what God has made, what he has said, his promises, and I'm putting myself in that imagery in my mind, in my imagination, and now I am waiting, and in the stillness of you, when you're silent, stillness of your, and in the stillness of the silence, maybe, of the silence, and in the stillness of the silence, you may hear his still, you may hear, you will, maybe, I'll put in brackets, okay, so you don't get rid of anything, because nothing's rubbish at the minute. You will hear his still small voice, and what would he say? What would he say? What would he say? I often think about this. What would he say? You'll hear his still small voice. What would he say? I love you. I'm here, maybe. Hello. What would he say? What would you say, Lord? What would you say? If I heard your still small voice right now, or I was walking in the rain, stalked the rainbow, maybe sat down on a park bench, what would you say? And in the stillness of the silence, maybe, who's this? I can't is calling out. Come home. I'll be waiting here for you. I'm a wee bit worried sometimes about saying things that God is calling you home, because I know things like suicide is prevalent in our nation and around the world, and it's never an option, you know. It's a bad option. I've been in that place. Where you think there's no way out, even as a Christian. So I'm kind of wary about writing stuff like that, because I don't want anybody thinking. You could get somebody in the wrong frame of mind thinking, that's it, God's calling me home, I'm out of here. And that's not the message I want to put across, so I might change that line. He is calling, and in the stillness of the silence, you may hear his, and in the stillness of the silence, and the, might change that, because stillness and still of this, you can hear a still small voice. He is calling on his people, maybe. He is calling out. Is calling out. I'm not sure about that. P-L-A is calling out his people. I know, Lord, I'm just doing this to try and help other people write songs, write better, find their talent and their gift. And Lord, would you help me just find the words? I know it's recorded. I'm not embarrassed by that. And in the stillness of the silence, you may hear, or you will hear, his still small voice. He is calling on his people to rejoice, to something not rejoice, maybe his voice, rejoice. I'm looking for a rhyming word. Does it have to be a rhyming word? No. I think it comes from my younger days of hip hop and stuff like that. I just look for it. We used to sit as kids and make up rhymes. All the Mary Had a Little Lamb and all that sort of stuff, and a lot of nonsense really, but it was funny to us then. And in the stillness of the silence, you may hear his calling voice, maybe his, because I don't want to say his still small voice, although it is his still small voice, and that's totally scriptural, and I would like to keep that in there, so I might need to change the first line. And you will know, of course, it's a suggestion, so we'll put it in brackets, because that's what I do. I know it's not maybe the final thing. In the stillness of the silence, you may hear still small voice. In the stillness of the silence, and the what's silent? What is silence like? The stillness. I don't know if you've ever experienced total silence. It's a very difficult thing to find these days. There's always noise somewhere. I had the opportunity recently. I work as an engineer in fire equipment, and I had the opportunity of fitting out a £20 million studio, and they had, I think they had three or four studios, actually three studios actually in it, but their main one, which was for cinema stuff, and you walked into it And this was right beside a very busy road, and you could not hear a single sound in that room other than you breathing. Totally silent, and it was awesome. I could have just sat in there for a while, but had to do work. So in the stillness of the silence. Okay, so this is what we've done. Anyway, we've kind of written. I don't want to get caught up in this. Alright. Just at this minute in time, I don't want to get caught up in it, because that slows you down. And the whole idea of this is to get a song banged out, within the hour, or half an hour, or 10 minutes, or 15 minutes, just from scratch. So here on a Saturday morning, it's the 4th of October. Tomorrow's my birthday, the 5th. It's the 4th of October, Saturday morning, and within an hour we have written the bones, shall I call it, of a song. So, what do we do now, you may ask? Well, let's see. Right, so where do we go from here? We've written a song. We've done verse 1, chorus, verse 2. I'm going to repeat the chorus maybe, a bridge, and then we'll do the final chorus. So what I want to do now, it's not a finished song by any stretch of the imagination. There's nothing too memorable about it other than the emotion of it. So what I want to do, the chorus is the hook. It's the big thing. I could concentrate on it, but I'm not sure what I want to say yet. So what I'll do is I'll go back to verse 1. Maybe it's probably a bit stronger than verse 2, which is often the case with me, and I have to do a bit more work on verse 2. But what I'll do is we shall have a look at verse 1. Let's see if I can just make this a little bit bigger, so I'm not having to strain to see it. Those are my song ideas and my structure up here. So just song ideas and structures. That's the structure I wanted. We've kind of went through it. I've got it. Verse, put it in. It forces you to write. Put down your structure. My wee tip for the day: put down a structure. Verse 1, chorus. Verse 2, a chorus. Maybe a bridge and another chorus. Put that down. If you want 3 verses, you might need 3 verses to say what you want to say, but you're into sort of hymns then, not sort of contemporary Christian music. And I find a lot of stuff today is far too wordy. The songs are too wordy to ever be remembered. You might remember 1 or 2 lines, and sometimes that's all it takes, but some of them are just far too wordy to be sang and in church and remembered. But anyway, maybe that's your thing. That's not what we're doing here. So verse 1, and I'll begin to do things here that just start to tidy up. I'll start to tidy up my little stuff. So let me see if I go back. Verse 1, right. When all your rooms are grey and the sky is the same. Remember how we started that? I just looked around the room I was in. What can I write about? Grey room. I looked out the window, it was a grey sky. There's only one thing to do. Go walking in the rain. Yeah, it's a bit corny, isn't it? But maybe. When your rooms are grey and the sky is the same. There's my first line. Grey rooms, grey sky. I've written it down. And it's kind of okay. There's only one thing to do. Walk with God. Go walk with God in the rain. So I'm going to take out these here. Go walk with God in the rain. That's not too bad. Only one place to go. There's only one. We could maybe try and make it a bit more smart. When all your rooms are grey and the sky is the same, there's only one thing. There's the best thing you could do is walk with God. Take out go, because I don't think it fits. I'm starting to get rid of the stuff that I don't really need. Walk with God in the rain. You can share with Him your secrets. You can tell Him of your pain. Even when the heavens feel like brass. You can find God. In the rain, but you can find God anywhere. You can find God. You can find God, or you can share. You can't really share. We've already done share. You can share Him your secrets. So now it's going to be share. Even when the heavens feel like brass, or when the heavens feel they're closed. You see, I've got words there now because I'm a rhymer. So even when the heavens feel like brass, and the line before that, you can tell them of your pain. So my last line is going to have to rhyme with pain. I could change that word so that that last line could be completely different. You can share with Him your secrets. Because I've got 3 words then rhyme and all the same. So you walk with God in the rain. You can share with Him your secrets. You can tell Him of your day. What about that? You can tell Him of your day. Let's take pain out because we've already kind of done that rhyme now. Because we've done in the first line same, rain. They're not exactly perfect rhyming, but they're close. And it doesn't have to be a perfect rhyme. When you're singing it, it can sound like a rhyme. You can share with Him your secrets. You can tell Him of your day, even when the heavens feel like brass. Now all of a sudden the last line, you see, is completely different because it's not rhyming with rain or pain anymore. You can, even when the heavens feel like brass. You can tell Him of your day, even when the heavens feel like brass. You could find Him in the rain. That would still work. Your day. Okay, let's see. This is what I do. I move on because I don't want to get bogged down in that one line. So what I can do here is I can just highlight that in red. I know I need to go back to it, but I don't want to get bogged down on it. I don't want to get tied down into trying to find one liner. Some people might just come up with them really good, but if I get stuck, I move on. Let's go to verse 2. When you start to see His promise written in the sky. When you start to see His promise written in the sky. When you see His glorious promise written in the sky. When you see His, let's just try that because I don't like the word. I don't like start. When you see His glorious promise written in the sky. When you see His glorious promise, what's another way of describing a rainbow? When you see His, I'm going to keep pulling my jumper down because apparently my belly's getting bigger. Let's see. When you see His arching promise, when you see his stretched out promise, when you see his promise, when you see his unbreakable promise, when you see his unbreakable promise. See, that's a possibility when you see his. So what I'll do is I'll put his glorious, that's spelled wrong, of course. I'll put maybe unbreakable, his unbreakable promise, or when you see his, what could be a word for describing a rainbow? See, this is where you get stuck, and it's okay to get stuck, and sometimes you need to go to Mr. Google. Now, I'm going to use my other wee laptop here, just because this one is my wife's, and there's a whole lot of stuff sitting there. I don't want to mess up her stuff, so what I'll do is I'll go to Google. And there's nothing wrong with this. Listen, it's just a word search thing. Don't be caught up in, I can't use Google or I can't use AI or anything like that. Use every tool you have. Every tool. Words to describe, to describe a rainbow. So all of a sudden, imagine maybe you're blind. You're trying to explain a rainbow to someone that's blind. So I just go Google words to describe a rainbow. Colourful is what it's come up with. Coloured, varied, various, multicoloured, striped, vibrant. It's not really what I'm looking for. Poetic word for rainbow. Showery, prism, triumphal, arc. Candidate phrases that may be found in the poems of James Thompson and Thomas Campbell. A triumphant arc. I don't know if I like that, because I'm not sure that destroying all mankind was a triumph to God. It says he sorrowed him, repented him that he had made man, and they had become the way they were, you see. I think it was a hard thing for God to do. Not a triumph. Not a triumph at all. It's like chastising your own children. It's not an easy thing to do. So I don't think triumph is the word. When you see his arch of promise, his arch, A-R-C-H, his arch of promise. What about that? That might work. When you see his arch of promise, arch, is that a word to sing? You see his, you can see I'm just getting rid of some words and stuff to see whether it works. When you see his arch of promise, arch doesn't work as a word to me to sing, but when you see his bow, when you see his promised his bow of promise, when you see his bow, what about that? When you see his bow, B-O-W, of promise written in the sky. So you see, I didn't use the words from the Google search brought me up, but it led me in a path. So in this one here, I put in what's a poetic word for rainbow, starry prism, a triumphal arch. Had a discussion there about arch. It's not a triumphal arch, not to me. Maybe it is, but I don't know. So it's a bow. Why did I not think of that earlier? When you see his bow of promise written from end, when you see his bow of promise from end to end across the sky, that might be better, from end to end, A-C-R-O, across the sky. That's maybe a better way of doing it. I'll keep that written sky thing. Oh, there we go. I'll just keep it because I don't know. And the colours, I take out and the colours. Right, so I'll just put and the colours of His Majesty. Are reigning high above are flying high like banners. When you see His bow of promise, end to end, I don't know what that for is there, end to end across the sky, and the colours of His Majesty like banners flying high. There we go. See, you can do it. Majesty like banners flying high. So I think that's not bad. Let's get rid of this. So we're narrowing out, we're taking out the stuff. When you see His bow of promise, end to end across, like that, end to end across the sky, like that. So I'm going to take out that. And the colours of His Majesty like banners flying high. If you reach out, then you will find Him, for He is willing to be found. Maybe find, if you reach out, let's put it in brackets, you will find Him. Alright, and let's take out this here, so I'll take that out, I'll put it in red, so it's probably not going to be there. So I'm running out of time. What time am I on? I'm an hour and 10 minutes, so I'm going to close this off here, and I'm going to continue working on this for the next, well, actually what I'll do is, rather than do that, I'll pause this, okay? I'm going to pause it, and I'm going to come back whenever I think I've got it sorted. I'll tell you how long it takes, alright? So let's do a pause. Okay, so I'm just back. We're on the 1 hour 9 minutes, 1 hour 10 minutes, and I stopped the video to go and play around with this a little bit. I can tell you, you just have to take my word for it, it was literally 10 minutes of playing around with the words, changing things, having a go at it. So this is what I've come up with. Based on our first thing, 1,000 drops of rain, I kind of had that in my head already. The whole thing about the grey, the sky, it never even came to me. We looked around the room, and we've come up with this, alright, between myself and the Lord. So let's have a look at it, just and see what it says. First one, when all your rooms are grey and the sky is much the same. Not sure about that line, but It might be okay. You know the place you ought to be is walking with God in the rain. Excuse me, not 100%, but we'll see. You can share with him your secrets. You can tell him of your day, even when the heavens feel like brass. And change this, you'll find his peace along the way. That's not bad. It's a wee rhyming thing. We'll go to verse 2. When you see his bow of promise end to end across the sky. And that's what I came up with after thinking about the arch and all that sort of stuff. Simplified it. And the colours of his majesty like banners flying high. Reaching out, you'll always find him, for he is willing to be found, and there surrounded in his presence, you with God on holy ground. That's lovely. I think it is. The bridge, don't know if I'll need it, but we've kind of put things in here. I think this needs to come out now, doesn't it? Let's just take that out. And in the stillness of the silence, you will hear his still small voice. He is calling to his people, join with heaven now. Right, he is calling, so this is not right. So let's get rid of, he is calling to his people. I hear it as a rhyme, join with heaven, join in, take out in, join with heaven now. Rejoice, you don't need it, all the words in there. It needs to fit the song. I don't have a thought really about what I'm going to do melody wise. And in the stillness of the silence you will hear his still small voice. And in the stillness of the silence, I'm going to change that word stillness. And in the stillness of the silence you will hear his still small voice. He is calling to his people, join with heaven now. Rejoice. I need to change that, but I don't know what to change it to yet. But I'm going to move on because I don't want to get caught up in that. Chorus. Walking with God will help you rise again. And the more I thought about this, the more I thought about rain and pain and all the things. In the dirt roads where gates are closed, because, I don't know, that's to me. And you will never drive again, because sometimes we go down to dirt roads and we think they're good places, but really, God closes his door, you're not going down that way again. And sometimes that can hurt. Never drive again. When you're standing in the waiting room and your tears become your prayers, you'll be swimming through the throne room like in 1,000 drops of rain. Not sure about that, but it might work. So what am I going to do now? I have no idea. I'll probably lift the guitar. I think this is probably going to be like a wee sort of, maybe a country thing. I'm not sure. Might be, but I'm not going to sing anything, but I'll just sit and tootle around. When all your rooms are grey and the sky is much the same. I try to talk through it. So when all your rooms are grey and the sky is much the same. When all your rooms are grey and the sky is much the same. Sing it like it sounds when you're talking. When all your rooms are grey and the sky is much the same. You know the place you ought to be is walking with God in the rain. You can share with him your secrets. You can tell him of your day, even when the heavens feel like brass. You'll find his peace along the way. Walking with God will help you rise again. In the dirt roads where gates are closed, in the dirt roads where gates are closed, and you'll never drive again. When you're standing in the waiting room and your tears become your prayers, you'll be he swam through the throne room like in 1,000 drops of rain. Maybe. So I'm going to have to play around with that, but anyway, this is really not for me to come up with the melodies and all that stuff. It's really just to get you started on songwriting and to help you along the way. I hope there's a few things in there. It's not really hooky. It's got some nice lines in it. Your tears become your prayers is a nice one. There's a few things. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that you can actually write a song in an hour, even though this has took 1 hour and 16 minutes. But I had a coffee break. I had a coffee break, so please bear with me. If you like this and you want to see more, maybe I can come up with melody lines or anything like that, please drop it in the comments. What you'd like, what you need help with. If there's anything I can do to help you, I will. Time allowing, of course. I do have my own life, and I do have my family and work commitments, and I'm trying to write songs, and I'm trying to do all that stuff. So within reason, I'll try and help you. Or I'm sure there are other people, maybe in the community of Christian music mentors that will definitely be able to help you. So God bless, and thank you so much for watching.